Alright, the cold has caused my pocket to expire again in the cold. I'm filming this with my phone now, and my hands are shaking a little bit from the cold. You can probably see that. My history with Mayflower Gulch goes all the way back to 2019, on a spring night that was supposed to be amazingly clear, when it turned out the mountains had their own ideas, and instead I got mostly just clouds, as you can see in this photo. I returned in 2021, but split the night between shooting at Clinton Gulch and in Mayflower Gulch, and unfortunately pretty much arrived too late to get the night sky shots that I wanted. I also returned that summer to actually get to see it in the daylight and without being buried in multiple feet of snow, and it turned out to be really beautiful. I got a picture of these nice columbines growing up amongst the logs of the cabins. But I still wanted that night sky shot. So in April of 2023, nearly 4 years after my first visit, it was time once again to go back. All right, hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Tonight I am up at the trailhead for Mayflower Gulch once again. I have come here twice to try and do night photography before, in May of 2019 when I got clouded out, and April of 2021 when I just got back into the gulch too late to be able to get the shots that I wanted because I spent too much time at Clinton Gulch Reservoir. And there is a video of that adventure here on the channel if you want to see that. But tonight we're going to go for round 3. It is supposed to be really clear out tonight. Also very cold. It's 8 degrees here as I've just arrived in the parking area. So another night to bundle up and get out there in it with my down parka and as much gear as I can put on to try and keep myself warm. So I'm about ready to pack up the f-stop and get started. So let's get to it. Now, I've never been that worried about hiking alone in the dark, especially in a place that I've been to before. But in a place as quiet as the trail into Mayflower Gulch, you can kind of hear everything that's going on up there in those woods. Let's just say you move as quickly as you can, just in case. All right, I am happy to report that I have made it up to the amphitheater up here in Mayflower Gulch, up to the mining camp. You can see the old cabin there in front of me. And I don't know if it'll show up. The old barn is back down the hill there behind me. It is chilly up here, but I'm pleasantly surprised that there is nobody else up here. Maybe the cold is keeping everybody at home. And yeah, I'm going to get my equipment out, get set up, and see what we can see. The Milky Way should be just coming over the top of the mountain peaks beyond here right about now. I've got about an hour and a half, 2 hours to shoot with before it starts to get light. That's probably going to be more time than I need, but we'll get set up and get going. All right, I've got this all set up, And we'll take a look at my first test shot here. That looks pretty good. It's nice and clear. The Milky Way is coming up. I have my 24 to 70 lens on here. I might swap to the 14 to 24 to get just a little bit wider. But something I'm also trying tonight for the first time is this setup here. So this is the Skywatcher Star Adventurer Star Tracker. And I picked this up from somebody I knew back in December. So it is used, so I got it for a really nice price. And so since I have that tonight, I'm going to do my first Milky Way shooting with the Nikon Z7, since I can try shooting it at lower ISOs and longer shutter speeds with the tracker. So we're set up here with the cabin. I did that test shot at my normal, what I would normally do at ISO 6400, about 8 seconds, or 10 seconds, I guess it says on there, f2.8. But now that I have the test shot in, and I'm probably going to swap lenses to the 14 to 24, I'll pull that up to f4, drop that ISO down to about 800, and then do a longer shutter speed of about 2 minutes or so running the tracker. And it is really cold out here, so hopefully the batteries and everything will hold up pretty well. But I'll get set up and we'll see how that goes. Alright, the cold has caused my pocket to expire again in the cold. Battery's dead. I also had some trouble with the tracker, with everything not being quite as tight as it needs to be. So I switched back to the Z6 II, and I'm filming this with my phone now, and my hands are shaking a little bit from the cold. You can probably see that. Whew. But this is my shot, and so I'm going to go back to the tried and true stacking model that I normally shoot with, and I think we're going to come out with a good shot anyway. So we'll start firing these off. Standing out in the chill of this icy night, it was amazing to see that vision that I'd had in my head 4 years ago finally come to fruition with these beautiful images. One of the most amazing things for me about being a landscape photographer is the ways that people can connect with my images in ways that I would have never imagined. In the case of my obsession with Mayflower Gulch, it has allowed me to connect with the descendants of people who once lived here, who built these cabins in this old mining camp, and who lived here in conditions just like these. When I posted these images this spring, I actually had somebody send me a picture of their grandmother sitting in front of this very cabin. It's an amazing way to connect with those around me and to help people connect with the past when their ancestors lived here in this amazing place. Alright, it's time to say goodbye to Mayflower Gulch once again. I'm excited that I finally got my nice shots here. Third time's the charm. It's time to head back down the mountain to the car. Let's get to it. All right, I am back to the car safely. Significant ice buildup on my beard, as you can see. It was super cold up there. I mean, that felt even colder than when I went up to Rocky Mountain National Park 3 weeks ago, and I know it was below zero up there. Maybe it's just because I was out in it for longer this time, as it's been 3.5, 4 hours since I left the car, and I was standing around up there in the amphitheater in the gulch for 2.5 hours this time, instead of the hour or so I was up in Rocky. But glad to be back to the car, to the heat, to the juice from my pocket camera. I hope we will get it working again. Although right now, even though it's plugged in, it's just too cold for it to work. I don't like it cold. So, time to get back on the road and head back home. But it's been a good night.